What's going on, guys? Clockie clocking in. We have a new set coming out, Eevee Grove. I'm not excited. I'll be honest, but we'll talk about it. Let's look at some of these cards. Let's see which ones are good and which ones might, be fun in the meta, and which ones are probably just not going to do that great. Let's check them out. All right, we're going to look at some of these cards here. We've got Eevee EX. Eevee EX is good because now we can have 2 Eevee EXs and 2 regular Eevees. So you can rock a deck with 4 Eevees. That's pretty cool. That's the main reason for its existence. It is a bit of a gamble, though, because it's an EX. So it can evolve into like a regular Pokemon, a non-EX. So it does have that option. It doesn't have to evolve into an Eevee EX. And it's got 90 health, which is pretty good, especially for a colorless basic. That's good. And it does 30 damage with Bite. Not bad. Pretty good Pokemon, but you gotta be careful. If this thing gets knocked out early, you're done for. That's gonna be rough. And then we also got Sylveon EX. I think it looks really good. When you evolve into Sylveon EX, you get to draw 2 cards. Pretty much Professor's Research. Pretty sick. Like this a lot. Any card that mills more cards out of the deck is good. So we like this one. It's good. We also got Leafeon. This attack does 20 more damage for each grass energy you throw on this thing. So this one's actually going to be pretty good with like superior decks. Leafeon EX already exists. You could rock Leafeon EX with regular Leafeon. It would work pretty well. I don't think that's a bad option at all, honestly. The Vaporeon's okay. It's 3 energy for 70 damage. Granted, it is a water Pokemon, and they tend to generate energy sort of quickly, especially with like Manaphy, but it depends. We'll have to see if we have any other supporters that kind of help with energy generation, but I don't think we've seen any yet. Flip a coin until you get tails. For each heads, discard a random energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. It's okay. It's definitely one of those cards that probably won't get used that much. Flareon EX is another one of those cards too that's like neat. It's a stage 1, 150 health EX. Not too bad. It is 130 damage to do, to attack, but you have to discard 2 fire energy from this Pokemon. So how do you get energy back to attack again? Once during your turn, you can attach a fire energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. But if you do, you have to do 20 damage to this Pokemon. Oh. In my opinion, it's like, it's okay, but the fact that you have to take 20 damage, dropping you down to like, if you don't have a giant cape, it drops you down to 130. And if you can't heal yourself or anything, it's okay, I guess. I would kind of be looking to see if there's any other, once again, energy generation here would have, if there's any other way to generate energy that doesn't require me to take 20 damage, that'd be great. But I get the feeling that there probably won't be. So this is okay. It's another fire EX though, thankfully, that's actually kind of usable, so we're okay with it. I think that one's not too bad. Glaceon looks pretty cool. It's a sniper. It does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. We like that. Glaceon looking good. Jolteon, I'm gonna be honest, this one doesn't look that great. This is like a worse Zeraora in my mind. I don't know why. I think it just has to do with the fact that, like, I don't know, but it's a 1 energy attack, so that's good. If the Pokemon evolve during this turn, this attack does 20 more damage, so it does 60 damage out the gate, and then it only does 40 after that, so it sucks. It's okay, and then it's not good. So, at least it's 40 damage, I guess, with 1 energy, but it's not that great. I wouldn't say Jolteon's really turning any heads here. Espeon, okay, this one looks good. I actually really like this card. I think this card's going to be in the meta for a minute. This attack does 20 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. Could you imagine pairing this with Stoutland right now? We were kind of running that with Gallade EX, right? But this is like a whole other level. This is insane. This is nuts. It does 20 damage. You could have, if your opponent is rocking Giratina or Charizard with Stoke or Darkrai, just anything that likes to build energy in the back, you're doing probably anywhere from like 60 to like, if the energy generation's crazy, you could be doing even up to like, I'm going to be honest, if they have 6 energy, that's 120 damage you're doing to the active Pokemon, and it's with a stage 1 regular basic Pokemon, it's not an EX. And you have 2 of these. You'd be rocking 2 Espeons, and it's only 1 energy to use this attack, which is insane. 1 energy is nuts, so I think you're going to see a lot of Espeon. You might see some Umbreon too. It's one of those things, it's okay. If the defending Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it can attack during your opponent's next turn. The thing is, the text that this is attached to and the fact that it's an attack implies that if your opponent retreats with that Pokemon and then is able to bring it back in, they can attack with it. So, like, Buzzwole doesn't care about this text, I don't think. I think, I mean, and I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive that's how that works. So if you can retreat and then bring the Pokemon back in, which a lot of basics you can't really do that with, and there's some really good basic EXs that would definitely get affected by this, don't get me wrong. But also, it's only 40 damage. So, like, even if you're, like, hoping to chip out a higher health EX Pokemon, it's going to take a while. Like, Giratina, Giratina, I guess, would take 60 damage, but still. Darkrai would take extra damage as well. Or no, it wouldn't take extra damage, just take 40. So, like, Darkrai wouldn't care too much. Plus, you can still do damage to this Umbreon with the energy. And also, it does need to attack. Like, the Umbreon has to attack to get this effect off. So, it's okay. I definitely would say it's not the worst card, though. It's definitely one of the better ones. You'll see it around a bit for sure. And people love Umbreon, so of course, yeah. Let's see. Okay, these ones are fun. The ones that aren't Eevees are like the ones I'm the most excited for, which I think is really funny. So Swirlix and Milcery, I think, both have this move called Sweets Relay, where if one of your Pokemon has used Sweets Relay during your last turn, it does 20 more damage. Cool. Okay, so it does 30 damage sometimes. Neat, whatever. Why is that cool? Well, we have Alcremie that has Sweets Overload, where this attack does 40 damage for each time your Pokemon use Sweets Relay during this game. So I'm imagining, especially since it's only a 1 energy move, you probably get Sweets Relay off like twice, right? And if you get it off twice, that's 80 damage for a 1 energy move. And let's say, you know, the Alcremie, let's say you were using Milcery, it's attacked twice, you evolve to Alcremie, you're doing 80 damage. Let's say you bring another Pokemon in after, like, this Alcremie gets knocked out. It also uses Sweets Relay. That's another one. The next time you bring in another one of these, it's doing 120 damage. I mean, you have to be able to keep these things alive is the only thing. I think that's going to probably be the hardest thing to do. Is, like, yeah, you want to get off as many Sweets Relays as possible. But once you get into late game on a battle, you're not going to have all that much time to really, like, work in a ton of damage. That's the only thing. I think you're going to be able to get off more than like 3 Sweets. I mean, if you can get off 3 Sweets Relays, you know, and still have some, you'll have 120 punching power. If you can get 3 of those off, I think you might be able to. There's definitely some instances where you can, especially against decks that like are building energy. I mean, this is definitely a deck that, like, if you made this deck, you would want to go second really bad. Because you want to be attacking, like, immediately. So if there's no other, like, crazy way to generate psychic energy super fast, and I don't think there will be, because, like, that would make Giratina, like, stupid. I don't think this is, like, the craziest thing in the world, but I do think it's cool. So I do think, but I will say you are pretty much, like, dead in the water if you're going first. I'm not gonna lie. If they're able to get shots off on you early enough, you know, if they're going second, this deck is gonna hate going first. It's not gonna be a fun deck to go first with. I think we've talked about, these are the cards that have been shown off today. This is pretty much it. Oh, let's talk about Penny. Penny sucks. This card sucks. It picks a random supporter out of your opponent's deck, so not their hand. I think it's just their deck. And it shovels it back into the deck, and then it uses that effect. And this is okay. I think this kind of sucks, though. Like, we could have had a way better Eevee supporter. Maybe, like, I think it would have been way better if Penny was, like, a way to generate energy for Eevees, or, like, heal Eevees, or just, I don't know, just anything better than this. Like, the only time I feel like you're ever going to want to copy a card is Professor's Research. You know, if you copy, like, a Sabrina, but you didn't want to swap something in, they don't have that option, you know. And it means you can have other cards in your deck, so, like, oh, if you did a Sabrina, that's so neat, you know. But there are times where you're going to copy an effect that doesn't do anything. Like, if you grab a Cyrus, not going to do anything. Like, let's say you grab Misty, but you don't have any water Pokemon. Doesn't do anything. Let's say you grab Erica, you don't have any grass Pokemon. Doesn't do anything. So, I feel like there's a lot of times where this just straight bricks and does nothing and is just such a waste of a supporter card in your deck, where you could be literally using those cards instead in your deck and have them readily available. So, I don't know, maybe you run like one of these just for fun, but I don't think this is a good or consistent enough card to be worth running at all. I think this card just sucks. Here's Eevee Bag. This one's cool. It's an item. It can do one of 2 things, which I think is sick. So you can either do 10 more damage with any Pokemon that evolve from Eevee, or heal 20 damage from each. It works for each Pokemon that evolves from Eevee. So if your team's been taking some damage and you have a bunch of Pokemon that are hurt, you play this card, 20 health across the board against as many Eeveelutions as you want. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. I like that part too. That part's sick. And that's pretty much it. We don't really have anything else. That's all we've seen. It's cool. I'm excited for this set to some degree, but I'm going to be honest. After Prismatic Evolutions, Eevees have left such a sour taste in my mouth. I'm like glad I'll be able to get these cards actually, but Prismatic Evolutions, I'm going to be honest, kind of ruined the TCG scene for me and a ton of people. It really did. It is just like boxed a lot of us out of enjoying what is a fun hobby. We can't enjoy it like we used to. So I saw that we were getting Eevees and I was like, great. Well, who cares? I mean, there's some cool cards in here, though. They'll definitely shake up the meta a little bit. Do they stay in the meta for a while? We'll see. I think some of them definitely will. But I'm of the opinion that as soon as like the next set comes out, I don't think we're playing this a whole lot. I don't think we're playing this a whole lot. Well, some of them are neat, though. Some of these cards are definitely cool. And people love Eeveelutions. So I'm sure you'll see people using them a lot in the future and for the time to come. So these cards are exciting. I'm pumped to see some of them in the meta and see how they work. I'm excited to see what if we get any more EXs, or if this is like, I mean, we should have, I think, like 1 or 2 more EXs, but they don't have to be Eeveelutions. We might only be getting Flareon and Sylveon EX as Eeveelutions. We do already have Leafeon and Glaceon EX. So those already exist. So the only other Eeveelutions we haven't gotten EXs of are Jolteon, Espeon, and Umbreon. But we have ones for all the other ones. So we'll see if those happen to get EXs as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're just other Pokemon that happen to be in the set. So we'll see. Anyway, this has been a ton of fun. I hope you guys are excited for the set. Let me know in the comments what card you're excited for the most. And this is Clockie, clocking out. I'll see you guys around.